Let's see. Wow, head, where are you at? Okay, so here's a chart that they gave us for how the squish is going to work. Right now, you got normal and heroic, and then mythic 0. Everybody pretty much ignores those. Mythic 2 through 20 and onward are timed dungeons where you get all your gear. So now you're going to have normal. Heroic is going to be about mythic 0, and mythic 0 is going to be about mythic 10 in difficulty. But the timers don't start until you get here. So your +2 is the first time there's a timer on the dungeon. And when do the affixes start? And it basically just goes up to a 10. A 10 should be equivalent to a mythic 20. Yeah, bigger gaps in between normal and heroic as far as the difficulty jump. But it's not because of affixes or a timer. It's just going to be they'll be doing more damage and you'll get higher level rewards from it. What do we have? So yeah, normal, unchanged. Heroic, tuning and rewards are increased to be equivalent to a mythic 0. Um, mythic difficulty changes in mechanics not present, and you can still just random queue it. And then mythic is equivalent to a +10 dungeon. No timers, no affixes, no limitations, so you can just grind it. But it still has the 1 a week lockout. So you can only run each dungeon once per week at a mythic 0. But there's no timer. It's just like a mega dungeon experience. So it's going to be harder than the heroic, but not quite a mythic plus. And then the plus system, starting with a +2, will be about a +11 of the current. 5 should be about a 15. And here are the affixes at 2, 5, and 10. Yeah, like training for plus for when you're in a 0. So 2 through 4, you only have fortified or tyrannical to deal with. So either the boss has more health or the trash does. 5 plus, you have fortified or tyrannical, and then one of the other random, not so consequential affixes like entangling or incorporeal. Entangling is just there's a circle, run out of it, or you get stunned or something like that, or rooted. You get a vine you have to pull. And incorporeal is just a ghost will spawn that needs to be interrupted or CC'd. They're the easy mechanics. And then you don't get a third affix until a +10, which are when you get your harder affixes like bursting and bolstering, where the mobs get stronger or explode when they die. And it also means you can, I think, we go down here, you only need to do a +7 or 8 to get mythic rewards in your vault at the start of the following week. So you don't even have to do a +10. You can do just 2 affixes and grind out mythic reward gear. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and people are just worried because it's new. But it also means that doing like heroic dungeons and mythic 0 dungeons will give alts and new characters some good rewards. It'll make everybody in the game a little bit stronger, and I think that's for the good. It might not be awesome for the people who are pushing +30 keys right now. Like, their world doesn't change too much. The number just gets smaller. But I think for the people who are doing normal and heroic, they're going to be getting better gear. They're going to have a better experience, and they'll be more likely to try Mythic Zero and even maybe push on to Mythic Plus, which will put more people into the dungeon pools. Also, when you're looking for pre-made groups, like if I go into dungeons and find a group, there's like a million variations of keys at different levels that people are looking for. It's going to be so much easier to find groups because there's only going to be really 10 key ranges. So more people will be entering the pool because of the gear and the experience of trying harder things, in theory. But it's also going to be less crowded when you're looking for a key. When you're, trying to get a +8, there'll be probably more options available for something like that, plus a +7 or a +8. You won't have to filter out all the +25s, +30s that people are trying to do. In theory. I'm looking forward to seeing how it feels, and they've basically said that the next patch, the 2.6, it's like 10.2.6 or something like that. It's going to come in and it'll stay for season 4. So we'll have a season and a half to test it out, and I'm really hoping it works and they carry the squish over into the next expansion. $10-minute wait time on this raid finder? Really? That's rough. As a tank. It's unclear. I mean, if the community really doesn't like it, they'll reset it. But it's going forward for the rest of this expansion. It'll be a permanent thing. They've been really open to feedback this expansion. So if something happens that people just don't like it, like it's not working the way they thought, or it's causing frustrations at the lower end where it was supposed to be improving things, then they'll walk it back. But we'll have all of season 4 and all of this mini season or this patch before season 4 to test it. I think they'll keep it. Personally, I think they'll keep it. Yeah. The only people I've seen that are really against it are the people that are either in that really high end group and they're just kind of like, well, this doesn't affect us. These aren't the changes we wanted. And the people who think they're in that really high end group and they're just kind of echoing what their favorite streamer says.